Nortman is to pay our respects to the legend, Bob Uecker. If you missed it, Bob Uecker did pass away at the age of 90. A icon, statues, media, broadcaster, personality, human being. The stories I've heard all day have been tremendous, and I cannot wait to hear from you, KBN Nation, about anything that you love and will miss from Bob Uecker. My name is Ben Brust alongside Kyle Wallace. Brad Nortman rocking his Brewers jersey. Good job, Brad. Alex Strofe running the show. 800-990-3776 is the Carbless talk and text line. Less is more. Now, we will get our thoughts, your thoughts on what Bob Uecker meant to the community, to the state, stories, share them all. But there's no better person that will be able to share the life of Bob Uecker than Gene Miller. Gene Miller, longtime media personality, hosted Wisconsin Morning News on our sister station 620 WTMJ. He puts into words Bob's life for all of you to listen in.
Bob Uecker was Wisconsin's soundtrack of summer since 1971.
Get up! Get up! Get out of here! It is gone!
Giving fans a bird's eye view of the game and Brewers milestones from his front row seat at the park.
He's done it! 3,000 for Robin. Swing and a base hit to right! 39 straight for Molitor.
Robert George Uecker was born in Milwaukee in 1934, a local kid who made it to the bigs with the hometown Braves before finding his legs as an actor and entertainer.
Would you welcome Mr. Baseball, Bob Uecker.
Making some 100 Tonight Show appearances, starring in scads of spots for the hometown brew.
These fans know I drink light because it's less filling and it tastes great. Good seats, huh? We're in the wrong seat, buddy. Come on.
Uecker made WrestleMania appearances, starred in his own TV series, one that ran 6 seasons.
Who are you? Belvedere. Lynn Belvedere.
Then there was the movie Major League.
On into the windup in his first offering. Just a bit outside.
And his turn as announcer, Harry Doyle.
Ball 4. Ball 8.
His real-life career in the booth began a year after the Brewers came to Milwaukee from Seattle, honing his signature call.
If somebody really hits a ball, some guy up there really juices one, you'll see the guys on the bench get up and get to the steps or wherever and look that way. And, I mean, every guy in the dugout is hollering, get up, get out of here, get out of here, you know. That's where it came from.
Uecker earning a place in the broadcaster's wing at the Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, awarded in 2003.
It's been a great run, but number one has always been baseball for me. No matter what else I ever did, baseball was the only way I wanted to go.
Gene Miller, WTMJ News.
That, Gene Miller, longtime host of 620 WTMJ, Wisconsin's Morning News, giving an outline of the perfect synopsis of everything that Bob Uecker was able to do as an icon for this state, for the Milwaukee Brewers, and for all of you as the soundtrack of summer. Kyle Wallace, you are a Wisconsin sports fan to the core. Growing up, Milwaukee area. What does Bob Uecker mean to you?
Yeah, for me, Bob Uecker was an absolute legend, right? Like Bob Uecker, as Gene said, was the voice of the summer. And really, with my childhood, Bob Uecker was part of that. For me, he made baseball fun. He made it interesting. He made it so entertainment, because baseball can be a game where sometimes you can get bored, but the storytelling of Bob Uecker always keeps you locked in. Sometimes the storytelling was more entertaining than the actual game, especially when the Brewers were just so bad. So he was absolutely legendary. And as an inspiring young broadcaster like myself, who, as many of us weird young broadcasters, we close our eyes and we dream of a play and we do broadcasting. But when you listen to the legendary Bob Uecker growing up, you may think you can never be that good. You can never be like Bob Uecker. But when you get older, you understand that there will never be another Bob Uecker, right? Like, you can't chase being that. So we are all so fortunate. Like, I feel so blessed and fortunate to be from this city, from this state, and being a Brewers fan, because I was afforded the opportunity that many people weren't, to grow up listening to the voice of Bob Uecker. So I understand how special that is and how special he is. And I'm just so appreciative of the opportunity to be a Milwaukee Brewers fan and be blessed enough to be able to have Bob Uecker as part of my life growing up.
Brad Nortman, a little young probably wiry. It didn't get into his body until later in high school. What is Brad, the youngster from Brookfield, Wisconsin? What's your earliest memory of Bob?
A couple early memories of Bob Uecker. One was driving with my dad in the car, listening to Bob Uecker. Whenever I drove with my mom, we listened to music primarily. With my dad, it was usually sports. So whether it be sports talk radio or listening to a game, it was one of the things that you fell in love with before you knew what love was, right? Like as a young kid, you love sports. And Bob Uecker helped me fall in love with sports. It put me on a trajectory in life that I could never dream of. And it allowed me to fall in love with the game of baseball, the sports in general. And Bob Uecker was the narrator to that. And whenever you tuned in, you just heard the joy, the passion, the warmth, the excitement, the entertainment. So I can visualize driving with my dad, listening to Bob Uecker on the call. And not only that, I had a little my parents got me as a gift, like a radio, right? Like a handheld radio. It was like,
did it work?
Think of like this. It worked. Okay. It worked. Think of like the size of, I don't know, like a Game Boy, like an old Game Boy, but like maybe a little bit.
Yeah, handheld radio.
Yeah, handheld radio, AM, FM, right? I thought it was a huge gift. And there would be times, even as like a youngster, like 6, 7, 8, 9 years old, parents, if you're listening, I'm sorry. I stayed up later, but my parents would put me to bed. And I knew the Brewers were playing. I would tune in sometimes and listen to the Brewers play. And it's just hearing Bob's voice and just being involved in sports, those are some of the earliest memories of it. And those are type of memories that you can't take away, because that's what Bob Uecker gave us. He gave us moments. He gave us memories. He's a guy that is sort of the tissue that brings people together in those moments. And, you know, Bob lived a long, wonderful life. And you knew a day like this would come at some point, but he feels larger than life. He feels like a titan. He is a legend, like you said, Kyle. So when something like this happens, it just sort of stuns you for a moment. But my overwhelming feeling is thankfulness. It's just thankful that I grew up in Milwaukee, that for as long as I can remember, I remember Bob Uecker's voice on the radio. Those are the early memories. I've got countless more memories going forward with him in high school and adulthood, even recently. And what he means to the city and what he means to baseball and to sport, it can't be quantified. And I'm just so thankful that I was from a young boy to now I could appreciate and experience Bob Uecker.
800-990-3776. When did you fall in love with Ueck on the radio? Because, Brad, you pointed out some like specific moments, right? Even as someone who didn't grow up in the state, as soon as I moved and played at the University of Wisconsin for 4 years, Uecker, I mean, you know of Uecker even before you live in the state. He's that big based off the personality that he was. But for him to be the icon in Wisconsin, you feel that right away. And then to know, like, I didn't really know what it meant to meet Bob Uecker. I had the opportunity after the 2014 Final Four to get a tour of the facility, meet Bob, shake his hand. And although, like, you know, everyone's going to have those stories like, I brushed by him, or my uncle saw him at a bar and they talked, like, it's just cool to know that, like, you got a chance to shake the hand of somebody who had that much impact on everyone listening. Everyone who grew up in Wisconsin has a Bob Uecker connection. So I do want to know, 800-990-3776, when did you fall in love with Ueck? Could have been on the radio, could have been on TV, could have been in a movie. You let us know. We'll hear from Alex Strofe, another local Wisconsin resident, our producer. Ben Brust, Kyle Wallace, Brad Nortman with you, celebrating Ueck. Next.
You're listening. This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman.
So they are lucky. Those other teams, whether it's Kentucky or whether it's Oregon or was it TCU?
That was TCU.
TCU, they're lucky I didn't play in that game. You got upset by a bad team, TCU.
On ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com. Every day, the Carbless talk and text line is open for you.
First off, there is not one team that's on the fringe that scares me.
800-990-3776. The Carbless talk and text line. This is more.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel neglected or unloved? If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
Al-Anon and Alateen can help. Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
Ready to tackle your home improvement project this winter? Exterior Pros and Baths is here to help you score big with quality home exterior and shower upgrades. As a 5-time President's Club Award winner, Exterior Pros is not playing around. With flexible financing, it's never been easier to invest in your home without breaking the bank. Get started today and save $2,000. Visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274. That's 262-800-4274. Trust the pros and kick off your home transformation today.
Whether you're about to graduate high school or have been in the workforce for years, it's time to take control of your future. Welcome to Lakeland University, where you call the shots. We use our flexible learning formats to customize your degree path. In-person, online, and virtual classes are all available. Lakeland University is designed around you, your goals, your schedule, your future. You can even earn up to 25% of your degree via paid work experiences. Ready to take control of your future? Let us customize an education to fit your needs. Visit lakeland.edu/ESPN to learn more.
Experience the timeless charm of the Knickerbocker on the Lake, Milwaukee's premier boutique hotel. With its stunning architecture and modern comforts, every detail tells a story. Whether it's a romantic getaway, a business trip, or simply a night away, you'll find elegance, history, and a warm welcome waiting for you. The Knickerbocker on the Lake, where every moment feels like a chapter from the past, written just for you. Visit knickerbockeronthelake.com to book your stay today. An unforgettable getaway awaits.
Winning in the NFL comes down to the basics, blocking and tackling. In retirement, the certainty of protection and income are the keys to success. And as a former NFL player myself, I have experience with both. Hi, I'm Mitch Lyons. Having played on winning teams with the Steelers and Falcons, studying game films helped me mentally prepare for the challenges ahead. Now I star in a new Hollywood documentary called The Retirement Deception to help you visualize and prepare for your fourth quarter of life. You see, you don't retire on your nest egg, but rather the income it can produce. This film shows you exactly how to protect your retirement from stock market drops and produce more income than you thought possible. And it's free for you to view. Call 855-620-1801 right now for your free streaming code to watch The Retirement Deception. Don't risk your retirement savings at the goal line. You don't need to be risky to have a winning strategy. Call today to speak with an all-pro retirement specialist to get your free streaming code to watch The Retirement Deception. Call today. 855-620-1801. That's 855-620-1801. MitchLyonsWealth.com. Your best game plan to protect, grow, and win retirement.
When you've been seriously injured, you'll need a team with knowledge and experience to get the results you deserve. Call Gruber Law Offices today. Proud partner of your Milwaukee Bucks. One call, that's all.
It's time to show us your Bucks. Have a Bucks tattoo or a design in mind? Send us a picture of your Bucks ink at ESPN Milwaukee on social media by the end of January 20th for your chance to win a pair of Bucks tickets. The biggest Bucks fans deserve big prizes. And while you send in your Bucks ink to ESPN Milwaukee on social media, don't forget to vote for your favorite Bucks to head to the Bay for the 2025 All-Star Game. Vote now at bucks.com/all-star. Station updates, show clips, and your place to interact with us every single day just by scrolling through your feed. Follow along on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at ESPN Milwaukee. You're listening to Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN, on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
The arm is back. Here he comes. 1-2. Swing and a miss. Goodbye, Detroit. Hello, New York. Hi, Raleigh Fingers. What a job he is being mobbed by his teammates as the Brewers have come from behind today to beat Detroit by a score of 2-1. Oh, what a victory today for this Milwaukee Brewer Ball Club. And Milwaukee will face New York for the American League Eastern Division Championship.
9 years later, I was born. 8 years later, Kyle was born. And 6 years later, Brad was born. That's the legend Bob Uecker sounding electric back in 1982.
And this is why today, yes, we're remembering the legend of Bob Uecker, but we're also celebrating like that. When you hear that, you can't do anything but perk up and smile and just be so happy that we have these great memories of Bob Uecker. And though he is not here on earth, that sound, right, of Bob Uecker will live on forever.
Well, I know the Brewers never won a World Series during their time with Bob Uecker. Knocked on the door a couple times and was there once in 82. But this is why there are moments of things that are even more important different than winning championships. Personalities, people like Bob Uecker, to personify the Brewers and the sport, it just transcends it all.
Justin in Milwaukee, 800-990-3776. You're on the Carbless Talking text line. When did you fall in love with Uecker, or any memories you'd like to share with KBN Nation?
Benny, I just have to say one thing real fast. Rest in peace, the man, the myth, the legend. If anybody ever questions who was the best to ever do it, there's a reason he's called Mr. Baseball.
Powerful.
Bob Uecker. Yes.
Powerful.
Right to the point. Can't argue with
Mr.
that.
Baseball. No, I mean, like, is there a Mr. Football, Mr. Basketball? Nope. There's a Mr. Baseball.
I believe Johnny Carson gave him that moniker of Mr. Baseball, and nobody denied it or questioned it.
They just embraced it.
Yes, sir. That's what you do with somebody like that who literally transcended not only the great thing about Bob, and we hear stories like we went around when Bob was young and things like that, but the great stories that you hear about Bob being a bad baseball player, but a great broadcaster, and then even great actor, like he was just incredible.
He excelled in so many things that included but was not limited to calling a game. Like that's what made him so good. Off the mic, on the mic, and like Johnny Carson and movies and TV shows. Like talk about a guy with a range of talents and then just could walk into a room and captivate everybody's attention. Very few people can do that ever, and he's one of them.
So let's go to Jeremy in Grafton, 800-990-3776 on the Carbless Talking text line. What's your connection to Uecker? How much does he mean to you?
Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for having me on the show. I just wanted to say, can I take a stab at a Bob Uecker themed joke? Is that all right?
If it's appropriate.
If it's appropriate, and you do right by Mr. Baseball.
With the utmost respect for the Mr. Baseball, I just. His famous quote. How about this? With all due respect to, with all love and respect to Mr. Baseball, I think Bob Uecker's just had to get up, get out of here, gone.
I don't know. I mean, Bob would probably find that funny, wouldn't he?
I guess he would.
He probably would. I don't know.
Line one, Strofe.
But
what I have a question.
Yes.
I don't think we're going to do it, but should we put on Twitter at KBN ESPN, a caller said, would Bob like this joke? Get up, get out. It was time for me to get up, get out of here, gone.
You know what? My based on
I know.
me,
I know.
I love Bob. Bob Uecker would have loved that. He would have loved that.
All right.
He absolutely would have loved it. But not today.
Thank you.
Not today.
Too soon, man.
In the transition off
this just happened.
But just But just thinking about it.
But like he said, the reason why I was willing to hear it because he's like a joke of like I thought it was like going to be a reference of a joke that Uecker made.
Yeah.
He took his damn get up, get out of here, gone. No, I ain't accepting that today.
I'm just curious.
I almost said dump, even though it's like legal to play on the air. Get that jargon out of here.
So
respect Bob.
I appreciate the dude from Grafton listening in. I love that. But bro, you ain't had no friends to tell that to or text that to.
Yeah, you had to put that on the airwaves.
KBN Nation.
We love the vulnerability here.
Dang, for real? But no, for real. I was thinking about though, as you guys, we're talking about like the movies and in his impact. And the reason why I love the movie Major League, it's a great movie. But because being a kid from Milwaukee and hearing Bob Uecker's voice inside the movie Major League made me feel even more connected to the movie. I know they filmed at least, I think, the first one in Milwaukee, but it made me feel that much more connected to Bob Uecker. Driving home, went to grad school, Central Michigan University. Driving home late night, going back to Wisconsin, I remember when I was driving down and probably around Kalamazoo area, and I turned on 620, right, because I had it preset. And I heard the voice of Bob Uecker. You have no idea how excited I got for a kid who literally was in the state of Wisconsin my entire life, left for 15 months. I'm driving home at night. I get to listen to Brewers baseball and Bob Uecker. It was just like, I'm home. I'm home. That's the impact that he had. When you heard his voice, it felt like Milwaukee. It felt like Wisconsin. It felt like home.
I love stories like that because even as somebody who's chosen to live in Wisconsin, and I have adopted the Brewers, you guys know that. I can't wait to be a part of this run do it for you for however long it takes for them to get a championship. But as it pertains to the entertainment value of what Uecker means for like what we try and strive to do, right? On a daily basis when we come in, Kyle, Strofe, Brad, myself, and our rest of the team, we come up with ideas every day because we want to put on a show that makes you happy. happy, entertained, and sure, there's going to be opinions and conversation, and Kyle saying stupid things, and Brad being quirky, and me doing stupid stuff, and Strofe being our fun little 26-year-old that we're all, kind of living through. But at the end of the day, the entertainment value during a baseball game that Uecker could provide me on a 6-hour drive to my fiance's place in St. Louis, I knew that if it was a 2 hours and 20-minute game or a 3-hour game, all I had to do was find a way on Sirius XM once they got a 620 WTMJ to find the Brewers, and I would be entertained the entire way until I'd listen to it on repeat if I could.
Yeah,
but
you never wanted it to end.
Never. But I love this. I want to give this. Saku is going to join us from Milwaukee. Now, I want you to share your story because I don't know many people from Africa who have found the love for baseball.
Hey, good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon. Great having you.
How you doing?
Yeah, so I wanted to say that the great soul of Bob Uecker, rest in peace. So he meant so much to me. Trust me, when I heard that today this morning, I cried because I came here in 2014. At that time, I know nothing about baseball. I never heard about, I never see it. And then when I was driving Uber and Lyft, something like that, I started listening to Mr. Uecker, and I fell in love of the game of baseball. And from then, just by listening to Uecker, I understand the rule and fundamental of baseball, and I became a big fan. Today, I can even explain the baseball to some people who was grown up like a baseball player or born here. So I totally understand the game today because of Mr. Uecker, and I love the game because of him, and I become a big fan of Brewer, living here in Wisconsin, Milwaukee for 10 years. So I really, really enjoy all the time I listen to Mr. Uecker, and I'm going to miss it.
Thank you for the call. That is a wonderful story.
That's unbelievable. 99 times out of 100. If you ask somebody, why did you become a fan of the Packers? Why do you love football? Why do you love basketball? They're going to name an athlete, a player.
Not that Uecker wasn't, but in this story,
he's known for his voice. People fell in love with baseball and sports and Brewers because of a voice, because of a personality. Like his voice could carry through the airwaves and hit you to where like you fell in love with what he was describing. You felt like you knew him. I think that's why this is painful for a lot of people, including us here at KBN, on this passing. But unbelievable. He is the one. He is the exception. A voice making someone fall in love with and understand sport that is just rare beyond belief.
That's the thing that's so incredible. When we talk about, I say the dark ages of the Milwaukee Brewers were in the mid-late 90s when we were just a very bad organization. But again, that was a time that you, Brad, myself, we still fell in love with listening to baseball because of the voice of Bob Uecker. The team could lose, but when they scored, when they got a double play, when they struck somebody out, you got that pitch of, hey, struck him out. Like you heard that, and that got you excited for listening to a team that only going to win 60 games.
Yeah, well, and when you think about that, it sounds like at any moment. And I don't know of anybody that would say anything negative about Bob Uecker. The most recent, last time I saw him, got to meet him very, very, very briefly at the Vince Lombardi Golf Classic this last summer. And he was there for like the first swing. And everyone wanted to meet Bob Uecker, right? And clearly he was already sick. But I'm telling you, he was 90, but he had the energy level and the zest for life of a 19-year-old.
Even when he called the handful of games that he called this year, he gave it his all. And you could feel the same energy as you could feel in 1982 from the call that Strofe played in coming into the segment. Steve in Hawaii, I believe you're from Wisconsin, but enjoy the nice weather for us. What do you got on Uecker, Steve, on the Carplos Talking text line?
So, yeah, I grew up in Burlington, man, and we used to go to County Stadium back in the day when we were just punk kids and listening to Bob on the radio. When I moved away to Hawaii, it was like, we got the feeds. You can listen to Uecker. It's like you're in the stadium and in the new stadium, Miller Park, and you just knew Uecker, man. He was baseball, man. It was so fun listening to that guy. Just had a blast listening. And then he had his shows, and going to miss him. Woke up today with WTMGA breaking news, and I was saddened, but, man, he entertained us. Mr. Baseball, we're going to miss him.
Yeah, it's probably 6:31 in the morning there in Hawaii. This is fresh for Steve. I think it's an 8 hour
far behind there.
I think it's an 8 hour time difference. Or whatever it is. It's early. He's still having his morning coffee on the beach, and we're all like,
I think it's 4 hours, but
heck no.
I think it's more than that. I think it's like 6 or 7.
Really?
Yeah,
5?
It's 4. It's 10:31 there.
No way.
Yeah.
No way. I was in Hawaii, and I for sure.
It's 10:31.
10:30 is still applicable for morning coffee. Ben's not entirely wrong.
No,
sounds pretty good on the beach too.
I'm telling you,
Sounds
if you've
pretty
been
nice.
to Hawaii, going to Hawaii, everything shuts down at like 6 o'clock.
Well, the crazy part is that it's 4 hours to California.
It's 3 hours.
Like 3.5 or whatever, but it's like 8 hours direct. No, I'm talking about flight time. Flight time, it's like 4 hours to California, 8 direct to Hawaii. So I figured I was just adding some hours. I'm not a time zone guy.
Hey, you were close enough. Morning coffee was still right.
We'll all give each other passes today. Sound good? No, everyone's not going to jump all over each other today?
No, not today. For Bob.
3, 2, 1, team. All right, 800-990-3776. Brad, make sure you give people a winner today so they have something to smile about, whatever they're watching tonight at home.
Oh, that's right. I can give you a winner, and you can find yourself a winner with Sleeper Picks. That's right. You enjoy watching the games, and you're going to enjoy it even more with the Sleeper Picks app. Here's how you do it. Just download the Sleeper app today and pick more or less on at least 2 players on their projected stats. If you're right, you can win up to 100 times your cash. And then for a limited time, Sleeper has a very special offer. New users that just do a $5 play. That's one $5 play, and you'll receive $55 in free entries. Unbelievable. That's 11 $5 entries that you can keep going over and over and over again. It gives these games a whole new level of intrigue and excitement when you're watching them. And here's how you do it. Just download the Sleeper app today and use code BRAD. That's my name. BRAD. Code BRAD. And you'll get $55 in free entries when you play just $5. That's code BRAD with the Sleeper Picks app. Enjoy it, especially this weekend with the NFL playoffs. Must be 18 years or older. Promo code, location, and other restrictions apply. Minimum deposit $25. See terms and use for details. Please play responsibly. Call 1-800-426-2537 for help.
I see your text coming in. I also see the calls getting lined up, and I think it is the perfect day for you to get whatever you have on your mind about Bob Uecker and your feelings out with us. This is a safe place, as we just
keep them coming.
We just protected ourselves from each other because we want this to be a safe place for everybody.
I legitimately, right now, KBN Nation, I'm calling out to you because I want to hear these great stories. Because in this moment, in this time, we need to smile and we need to remember the greatness of Bob Uecker and the stories that we all have of growing up with Bob Uecker. You got people in Hawaii calling in. You got people everywhere calling in. I want to hear your stories.
800-990-3776. You heard the man. Give us a call. We'll be back with more Celebrating Uecker on Kyle, Brust, and Nortman.
Vaughn into the windup in his first offering. Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed. Ball 4. Ball 8. Low, and Vaughn has walked the bases loaded on 12 straight pitches.
Rest in peace to a legend. Bob Uecker has passed away at the age of 90. Celebrate the life of Mr. Baseball right here on ESPN Wisconsin.
Every so often in medicine, something comes along that is truly revolutionary.
Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, former orthopedic surgeon, now National Medical Director at QC Kinetics.
I believe this is one of those things.
Dr. Scheinkup is talking about regenerative medicine, something he's practiced, researched, and written about for nearly 2 decades.
The old ways of dealing with joint pain, such as steroids and surgery, are no longer the best ways.
If you have pain from arthritis or injury, you owe it to yourself to learn more about this exciting option, using your own body's natural power to get lasting relief. And there's no better place to learn than QC Kinetics.
There is no one in this country today with more clinics, more satisfied patients, more advanced protocols, or more experience in using this exciting option to deliver life-changing results.
Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
Look what I found.
What is it?
It's a list of the traditional and modern anniversary gifts for each year of marriage.
Sarah and I use a different list. But go ahead and tell us about yours.
The traditional gift for your first anniversary is paper, but the modern gift is a clock.
Well, our list says the first anniversary is always diamond jewelry.
What's your list called?
The People's Choice.
The traditional gift for your 6th anniversary is iron, but the modern gift is wood.
What a coincidence. For the 6th anniversary, our list says diamonds again. What do you have for the 10th anniversary, Rick?
Traditional is aluminum, modern is diamond jewelry.
Well, there you go. Our lists agree. What have you got for the 7th anniversary?
Copper and a desk set.
Nope. Diamonds again.
I'm beginning to see the wisdom of the People's Choice list.
It's good to have you on board.
Can I ask you something?
Sure.
Did you make up that People's Choice list, or is it real?
Well, we're people, aren't we?
Find the Kesslers nearest you at KesslersDiamonds.com.
Your current car, soon to be your old car. A new car? Better start looking. But you've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with free credit score and score monitoring on most new consumer checking accounts. Because when you know you need to make a big purchase, knowing your credit score puts you in the driver's seat. You've got this with free credit monitor from Associated Bank. See AssociatedBank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
Gabe Neitzel from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy here. Don't let the chilly weather end your golf season. X-Golf and American Family Field is open all year round. They've got innovative and accurate golf simulators, all overlooking left field at AmFam Field. Enjoy daily lunch specials or have an outing with your friends and take in X-Golf's full bar and food menus. X-Golf AmFam Field is even offering golf lessons by a PGA pro. Everyone is welcome at X-Golf AmFam. Book your sim today. XGolfAmFamField.com. I'll see you out there.
Homer here. I'm inviting you to join me starting August the 9th, as we explore the many shades of Ireland with Colette Vacations, a 10-day journey filled with legendary views, historic expeditions, and unforgettable tales. Explore the historic city of Dublin, kiss the famous Blarney Stone, and stand on the spectacular cliffs of Moher. We'll also journey Ireland's breathtaking countryside and follow the stunning coastal route of the Ring of Kerry. We'll experience the daily life of an Irish family with a dairy farm visit, and even enjoy a taste or two at a historic whiskey distillery. Plus, there's a stay overnight in a medieval castle. Join me for all of these experiences and many more. Visit ESPNMilwaukeeTravel.com for trip information. Colette handles all the details of the 10-day excursion, the flights, the meals, the hotels, the experience. Don't worry about it. Your only job is to have the time of your life. Don't miss it. Visit ESPNMilwaukeeTravel.com or text HOMER to 800-990-3776. HOMER, 800-990-3776.
You're listening to Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN, on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Brewers down to their final out now. Now up to Christian Yelich. Here it is. Yelich sends one to right center and deep. Get up! Get up! Get out of here and gone for Yelich. He has tied the game with a booming home run. He got it all. Tied up 4-4 on a big home run the pitch. Ryan Braun sends it to left center and deep. Get up! Get out of here! Gone!
Goosebumps.
Ryan Braun! He just hit a walk-off out of here. Wow! You can't do it any better than that.
The way he said Ryan Braun, he just hit a walk-off home run. That was obviously, what, how many years ago? 10?
I was like 2018.
Yeah, 2018, I believe. Yelich and Braun.
So 6 seasons ago. And even at his age now, 6 seasons later, the way he the Bowers walk-off in the wild card, or no, to clinch the division this year, he just hit one like this the same way in the same delivery. It just pumps.
Y'all mimicked another broadcaster more than Bob Uecker.
No,
you hear
no
the
way.
crack in the bat.
I don't think so.
Yeah, let's got it.
It's always like winds and delivers.
Yeah, and then pop. But then also think about it, like inside
the pitch
inside AmFam Field. You had the get up, get out of here, gone there. Like, he's just so close. How many broadcasters are able to have a line like that we all know that is so famous, so popular, so attached to the city and the team that they literally have it in Bernie's dugout up there?
And not only that, but it has national acclaim. People know that on a national level from us little old Milwaukee.
I want to go to Kevin in Illinois because he says, perspective from a Cubs fan who respects Uke. But for anyone who hates the Cubs, just know that Pat Hughes, the voice of the Chicago Cubs, was with Bob Uecker. And anyone who's worked with Bob Uecker typically goes on to do great things. I believe it was Corey Provis as well for the Minnesota Twins. I believe there's a Reds announcer for the radio play-by-play that worked with Uke. And so the future, I don't want to get into, but I feel so confident in the amount of time that Jeff Levering, Lane Grindle, Josh Mauer, all of the team, even Dom Catronio, over at WTMJ and the Brewers Radio Network, they learn from the best. And so the product will suffer naturally because we're going to miss him forever, but we'll also have the opportunity to have shades of what was Bob Uecker because they were around him so much. Kevin from Illinois, with that, you're up here on Kyle, Brust, and Nortman on the Carbless Talk and Text line.
Hello, gentlemen. As a Cubs fan, we have our own Hall of Fame broadcaster in our own right. We get the radio down here for the Brewers. So when the Cubs play the Brewers, I would always tune into Uke because there was nothing like listening to Bob Uecker call a game. I think the beginning of the show, you guys played the tribute. It totally encapsulated why Bob Uecker was so great. Not just baseball. He was TV. He was WrestleMania. He was late night. The man transcended baseball, and he will forever be missed. Godspeed, Bob Uecker.
Thank you, Kevin. And just a heads up, everyone stay tuned for the latter part of our show. If you're in Madison, Beaver Dam, just a heads up, we will be playing his Hall of Fame speech from the National Baseball Hall of Fame in its entirety. What'd I say?
No, I know.
In 2003? I mean,
yeah.
I think his personality comes out so
I don't know why
well.
you're being so weird.
What do you mean? I tried to whisper in your ear. Sweet nothings.
You definitely did sweet nothings there. Antonio in Oshkosh, Bob Uecker means what to you?
He's a true icon. I remember the first time I was a kid, and I turned on the TV and was watching Mr. Belvedere. And I saw him, and I didn't know who he was. And then I moved to Wisconsin and was listening to a Brewers game, and I was like, that's the guy from Mr. Belvedere. And I've been listening to him ever since, and my heart goes out to the family. Heaven got 3 legends now. Harry Carey, Bob Uecker, and John Madden. Rest in peace.
So
Dodgers broadcaster as well?
Vince Scully, yeah.
Vince Scully?
Yep.
Yeah, they got a hell of a play-by-play group up there.
Yeah.
Sure do.
They got it all figured out. They got it all figured out.
They used to, man.
800-990-3776. A voice we have not heard from yet is our 26-year-old Alex Strofe, who, what I love about him is he is like, you know when I make fun of Kyle Wallace, like, you know, when he like watches games, you know, I think of like a kid throwing a remote at the TV when their team loses. I think of Strofe as like the kid that like wears it emotionally in his heart, and he gets like really sad if one of his teams loses. And it was evident by the Packers on Monday. I just saw it in his eyes, and he was like this sucks. So I do want to hear from our young perspective as somebody who grew up in the Green Bay area, an aspiring broadcaster. You better have something. Like, you were an aspiring broadcaster, and I would say you still are an aspiring broadcaster.
Aren't I technically a broadcaster?
Nah, you're still aspiring. You're still aspiring.
Hey, keep me humble, Benny. Attaboy, you're good at that. Look, I mean, it is hard to articulate what Bob Uecker means to this state, because as we've talked about and heard from KBN Nation on, is everybody associates Brewers baseball with Bob Uecker, right? And many don't necessarily only associate Bob Uecker with Brewers baseball. You hear Mr. Belvedere, you hear Major League, you hear he's a WWE Hall of Fame. He's in like every Hall of Fame that's ever existed. He's unbelievable. this sucks. I mean, as you guys said at the top, right? You knew this day was coming. 90 is an unbelievable run. I hope to live to be 90 myself, right? I mean, that's a great run. I don't know that I've ever heard a bad word about Bob Uecker, which is one of the coolest things about that guy, who did what he loved until his last days, essentially. And we'll hear from throughout the show some of the things from last season. His last season, a part of Brewers baseball, but I know Brad talked about it, and several of our callers, and Kyle has talked about it. Growing up in Wisconsin, he's just the soundtrack of the summer. He's leaving a irreplaceable hole going forward, and it's just it's a really sad day. But obviously we're celebrating what was legitimately a cartoon character life. Like, you cannot draw up the life that Bob Uecker lived. There will never be anybody like Bob Uecker, from the acting to the baseball commentating.
And to live to 90 through all of it.
Right. But the comedy, the acting, the WWE era, which as a wrestling fan, I just think
I was going to say, I love that. Like you're like the Bob Uecker WWE era, the thing that everyone thinks of.
I was listening to WTMJ's coverage a little bit earlier. I went up to AmFam Field and saw his statue and talked to some fans out there and shared some tears with fans out there who were delivering beers and flowers to the statue that's outside AmFam Field. And to think this guy is in the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association Hall of Fame. He's obviously in the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame. He's in the WWE Hall of Fame. He is in the Milwaukee Performing Arts Hall of Fame.
Is he really?
Yes, he's in every Hall of Fame ever. He's just the most unbelievable human being and just an absolute Wisconsin legend. So to follow suit with all of our callers, Godspeed to an absolute legend, the greatest of all time.
The thing that's unique about Bob Uecker, about us, I guess Wisconsinites, right, is that we've had chapters with Favre and Rodgers but those are characterized by maybe a decade at most. Uecker spanned the whole thing, our whole life. I mean, you got childhood, high school, adult memories with the same guy. That voice was a part of the whole thing. So it's just unique that had that longevity, that stability, and be able to just have that consistency throughout and not have it touch and go.
He's so good. I love the way he says some things sometimes.
Thanks, Ben.
Yeah, he made me trigger something in my mind.
It's just crazy. The way you talk, we talk about, we did a lot of you had a longer relationship with Aaron Rodgers than anybody than your parents.
Mm-hmm.
And that was still the same amount of time you've been with your parents, the same amount of time you've been with Bob Uecker.
That's right.
Yeah, and I love the way you put that. Speaking of paying, a little respect, as Alex Strofe did at American Family Field, the way you can pay some respect as well is by going inside, listening to the first pitch of the game, which was called by Bob Uecker this year on the Brewers Radio Network. The carbless first pitch of the game. Better have one at first pitch for Bradley Nortman and Bob.
Yeah, that's right. You're going to find a carbless all throughout American Family Field. So when the Brewers start, or any time between now and then, or you just want to have just a cheers to Bob Uecker and the Milwaukee Brewers, you can do that with a carbless. Carbless, there's a time for everything. Whether it be just you want to remember good memories or you want to celebrate something, carbless is your go-to ready-to-drink cocktail. It's my go-to ready-to-drink cocktail. It is gluten-free, carb-free, sugar-free. That means guilt-free, which means even more as I get a little bit older in age. I'm trying to watch the waistline and feel a little bit better. Carbless checks that box for me. Just like we're talking about here with Bob Uecker and the Brewers, it's made right here in the great state of Wisconsin, and there's a flavor for everyone. Whether you're now, it's the winter time, so cranberry tastes pretty good. Maybe like the Moscow Mule, maybe more winterized type of cocktails. But when summer arrives, you better be in American Family Ballpark sipping a black raspberry or a lemon lime that just feels like summer. If you haven't discovered why less is more, now is the time to do so. Once you take that first sip, I promise you, you will not go to any other drink. Carbless, less is more with Carbless.
We do have to play over-under because in a day of celebration of Bob Uecker, he's a fun guy. And one of the fun things that we love to do is watch Alex Strofe put together a category of a top 10 list, and then Buffoon Brad and Kyle and myself, we all try and come up with guesses, and somebody walks away winning. So we want some winners today. It's over-under coming up next, 800-990-3776. Strofe has that category. He'll have an over-under. Caller 15 will get an opportunity to say over or under based off the line, and if he believes in us. Caller 17 will be stuck on the other side. Caller 15, caller 17, 800-990-3776. Over under on Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, 15 and 17, 800-990-3776. Over under coming up next.
And delivers. Swinging and a rocket to right. Base hit. They win. Jake Bauers hit an absolute bullet. Past Harper at first. Jackson Chorio scores the winner.
Rest in peace, Mr. Baseball. The voice of the Milwaukee Brewers, Bob Uecker, has passed away. Celebrate the life of a legend right here on ESPN Wisconsin. It doesn't matter if it's your first betting slip ever or just the first one of the week. We've got your Potawatomi sportsbook picks covered. Tune in Wednesdays to the Weekly Wager with Greg Matzik, Ben Brust, and Jen Latta.
If someone gives you 10,000 to 1 on anything, you take it.
The Weekly Wager, Wednesday nights at 6, right here on 94.5 ESPN, the Wisconsin On Demand app, and ESPN Milwaukee's YouTube channel.
Hey, this is ESPN Milwaukee's Jen Latta. Guys, let's talk about something important. You. Taking care of your health and appearance isn't just about looking good. It's about feeling strong, confident, and ready to take on the world. At Quintessa Aesthetic Center, they make it easy. With experts in advanced skincare, body contouring, and anti-aging treatments, Quintessa is here to help you stay sharp and at your best. Trust me, when you look good, you feel even better. So why wait? Visit myquintessa.com and take the first step towards a more confident you.
It started with a prediction.
We'll go out there and play basketball and win. And how many games? 6.
It became the culture.
Chance of Bucks in 6.
Being a Bucks fan means you live and breathe Bucks in 6. Brandon Jennings created the prophecy. Tune into Behind the Bucks, the story of Brandon Jennings on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and streaming wherever you get your podcasts.
That's for the culture.
For more than 40 years, Network Health has been the trusted experts in health plans. Just like you, they're honest, hardworking, and grateful to call Wisconsin home. Whether you're seeking coverage for yourself, your family, or your employees, Network Health has you covered with a range of options, including individual and family marketplace plans, employer plans, and Medicare Advantage plans. Call Steve Fluellen, Saganiac Planning, 262-783-6161. 262-783-6161. Saganiac Planning, a name synonymous with employee benefits and top-notch service. The Saganiac Planning Marquette Records. Greatest shot blocker for Marquette, Jim McIlvain. Second best shot blocker, Jim McIlvain on a bad day. 13 block shots against Northeastern Illinois in 92. Best ever by someone other than Jim McIlvain, 8. Theo John, Amal McCaskill, and Walter Downing. And one other with 8 blocks in a game, 5 different times. Yep, Jim McIlvain. Saganiac Planning, a name synonymous with employee benefits and top-notch service.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that maintains a job bank, provides employment information, or gives job referrals, you may request to be placed on the station's mailing list for future career opportunities. To learn more about careers at Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
Dr. Aaron Holtebeck and his team at Holtebeck Eye Center make vision care a top priority with the latest technologies at their state-of-the-art Brookfield office. Dr. Holtebeck has been helping local patients with their eye care needs for over 20 years. And now, Holtebeck Eye Center is excited to add Dr. Nausheen Abbas to their team. Dr. Abbas is an ophthalmologist and cornea specialist that is now available to see patients. Located in Brookfield near the corner of Calhoun and Capitol, learn more about their services at holtebeck.com.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN, on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
0-1 pitch swung on a drive and a deep left field going back towards the wall. It may be. It's back at the wall. Home run for Bob Uecker.
Ben Brust, Kyle Wallace, Brad Nortman here with you. We are Kyle, Brust, and Nortman with Alex Stroh running the show. Hanging with you, KBN Nation, 800-990-3776. That is the Carbless Talk and Text line. We will spend the entirety of the show listening to you tell stories about what Bob Uecker meant to you, your family. We will likely schedule to have Carl Ravitch join us at 4:15. Get a national perspective as we share. I want to share some of these local stories to see the span of the reach that Bob had nationally and the impact, because he's Mr. Baseball. He's not just here. We've already had people say, I'm from Africa. I moved here, and then I learned baseball. Somebody's a Cubs fan. Mad respect. When I watch the Cubs and the Brewers play, I don't tune in to listen to the Cubs broadcast. I tune in to who? Mr. Baseball. So keep them coming, 800-990-3776. But someone's going to walk away a winner. It's time for Over Under.
Will the guys hit the over or will they disappoint? It's time for Over Under on Kyle, Brust, and Nortman. Over Under is brought to you by the Sleeper app. Download the Sleeper app today and use code BRAD, that's B-R-A-D, and you'll get $55 in free entries when you play $5. That's code BRAD.
All right, El Strofe.
Let's do it, fellas. Caller 15 today was Nate in Madison. He believes in you guys. He is on the over, and Aaron in Fredonia, by choice, or not by choice, is on the under. Oh, NFL over-under today. I am looking for the most wins by active NFL head coaches. Now, that's a little weird right now. So as long as they were employed in 2024, they count as active.
Playoffs or just
overall? Overall, most wins by active NFL head coaches as long as they were employed in the 2024 season. The over-under is set at 7.5. Who's going to be your final answer today?
Let's give it to NFL Brad. He wears the shield.
Let's do it.
Rob Lowe style wears the shield. All right, NFL Brad, your time starts in 3, 2, 1.
Tomlin final.
Number 2 on this list, 183 wins.
How about Sean Payton? Final.
He's number 5 with 170.
McCarthy
final.
Yep, number 3, 174.
John
Harbaugh final.
Yeah, that's number 4, 172 of them.
How are we missing number 1? Were you idiots?
Yes.
Andy Reid final.
Yep.
There he is, 273 of them.
Okay, how about, Jim Harbaugh wasn't in the league for too long, but he was pretty successful. Maybe that's on the side.
Who's like a journeyman coach
what
right
about
now?
Sean McVay? He's been there for a while.
Yeah, I just
now.
wrote him down. Let's put him on the side of the list there.
Well, has McVay been there longer than Shanahan?
I thought Kyle Shanahan?
I thought Kyle Shanahan was before McVay.
That's
You're right.
true.
I think he came from his dad.
Kyle Shanahan would come before McVay.
Yeah, and then I'm just going through the teams like the AFC
2 minutes.
You got Peyton.
What about Doug Peterson?
Doug Peterson, he probably hadn't held a job for too long.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he would be on that list. I think he's probably only been a head coach for like 6 years. Who else is in the AFC?
D'Amico's young.
Yeah, I mean the
Titans, no. Steichen, no.
You know what? I think we should do Shanahan to see if he's on the list.
Shanahan final.
Yep. Shanahan final.
There you go, Brad. You're the final answer.
How many does he have?
70 of them. He's 8th on the
Okay,
list.
so we know Matt
78.
LaFleur might be on this list because of the fact that you're talking about he's been coaching
Sustained
6
regular
years.
season success. And
Yeah,
I
yeah.
had LaFleur written down, and I
70
wanted to.
wins.
13
Yeah.
times 5 is
Let's
what?
go, Matty.
I'll do Matt LaFleur final.
He's number 9, 67 wins.
So Sean
One more.
McVay.
So
You
McVay
win.
has
Sean
more than
McVay
him.
has to be on the list.
McVay final.
Should have gone 8.5. He's number 7, 80 wins, 10 more than Kyle Shanahan. You've got 2 names left on the list. Get them.
All right,
Okay,
so let's figure out. Let's just got to go team by team, right?
Well,
Yeah, I mean, let's try and get in the allotted time.
Just for context, you're missing number 6 and number 10.
So think about Buffalo. He's been there for a while. Sean
McDermott's been there for at least since 2018.
Yeah, so
that's 6 seasons.
McDermott has won a lot.
That's right around where when LaFleur became a head coach.
Jim Harbaugh, I don't feel like he was there long enough.
I agree.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of if we're missing a coach that's been with a team for a while.
Arizona, no.
Well, like Dan Quinn.
He had a run before.
I guess he's only there for maybe 4 years or 5 years in Atlanta.
Not the Bears, not the Browns.
I should have gone 8.5 the way you guys are floundering right now. I dropped
I
it
like
down
Sean
to
McDermott.
7.5.
I like Sean McDermott.
McDermott final.
McDermott.
Yeah.
You're not the final answer guy.
Sean McDermott final.
He's number 6 with 86 wins. You're missing number 10, and I will say you've said his name. You've also said every NFL
Jim
head coach,
Harbaugh.
so-
Yeah. Harbaugh final.
It's not Jim Harbaugh.
Just give us it.
Doug Peterson, 64 wins.
Interesting.
Cracks the
Interesting.
list.
How many wins?
64 of those things.
He's going to get passed up soon, huh?
Congrats to Nate and Madison for believing in us.
He won a lot of games in Philly because they ain't win nothing in Jacksonville.
No, they did not.
I think he won 10 games total at the coach.
That's probably about it. Yeah.
My goodness. He got fired from the Philadelphia Eagles.
Crazy.
And Sirianni went pretty quick to a Super Bowl.
Man, you get all those olds out of there, like Belichick. And
Hey, it's not a day to be talking about getting rid of olds out of there, Brad.
You're right.
Ben Brust, Kyle Wallace, Brad Nortman, Strophy running the show. UKBN Nation 800-990-3776 and the Carbless Talking text line. When did you fall in love with Uke? What is your moment with Uke?
When were wrong with you? I just want you to know that.
When did you fall in love with Uke? When you're in the car with your parents, did you discover it in your handheld radio that you got as a little kid like Brad Nortman?
Mm-hmm.
What was it for you? I see the text. I want to get to those as well, but I love hearing from your voices because I think anytime we can have this kumbaya conversation about someone who is so impactful for everyone, it's a win for everyone. We'll be back in 2 minutes. It's Kyle, Brust, and Nortman across ESPN Wisconsin.
Do you want to have more fun watching the NFL playoffs? Try playing Sleeper Picks. Just download the Sleeper app today and pick more or less on at least 2 players' projected stats. You can win up to 100 times your cash. For a limited time, Sleeper has a special offer. New users have to just play $5 and they'll receive $55 in free entries. Just download the Sleeper app today and use code BRAD, B-R-A-D.
Must be 18 years or older. Promo code, location, and other restrictions apply. Minimum deposit $25. See terms of use for details. Please play responsibly. Call 1-800-426-2537 for help.
Fisco is always there for your auto body care. When accidents happen, Fisco Auto Body on Forest Home in Franklin is there when you need them. Got a broken mirror? They'll take care of it. Dented bumper? Scratch paint? Fisco Auto Body will take care of it. If there's any damage you need fixed, Fisco has you covered. Their expert workmanship is guaranteed for the life of your vehicle. So stop in for all of your auto bumps and dings. Once again, you know the line. That's Fisco.
Bring in the new year at your local Milwaukee Metro Region Cunis Auto Group dealerships. If it's the new year, it's time for a new ride. So plan on driving into 2025 in style at a Cunis Auto Group dealership near you. Your Milwaukee Metro Region Cunis dealerships feature America's best-selling brands from both Buick and GMC, all at nearby locations in Oak Creek and Greenfield. During January, every remaining new 2024 vehicle plus thousands of select pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs are all being discount price to sell. We've got to make immediate room for hundreds of incoming new 2025s, as well as hundreds of fresh trade-ins from the holiday season. We're paying top values on all trades, no matter what the mileage or condition. Don't forget to check out individual dealership websites for pre-owned vehicles super specials. Plus, January service specials on everything from oil changes, tires, and brakes. Ring in big New Year savings at your nearby Milwaukee Metro Region Cunis Auto Group dealerships, or shop online at shopcunis.com.
Hey, this is Brad Nortman from KBN. Tune into Kyle, Brust, and Nortman from 2 to 5 every day. WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Let's go!
Let's go! Broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee. This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman. KBN on ESPN Wisconsin. Here's Kyle Wallace, Ben Brust, and Brad Nortman.
Kevin chimes in at 800-990-3776. I think this is impactful. You don't get to share memories with an athlete that spans generations, and I think this is off of a Brad Nortman overall point of, Favre, Rodgers, different athletes come and go, and they're chapters of a book, but Bob's been a part of your whole book, your whole life. And I got to share the bond of the movie Major League with my father. I got to hear my grandpa talk about listening to Uecker call games on the radio when he was working on his farm. There are 3, possibly 4 generations in families that got to share memories of Bob Uecker together, and that is simply incredible.
Man, that brings me to what I remember, right? Growing up as a kid, and my grandpa's been gone since 2009, but I just remember at my grandparents' house, right? My grandpa would sit in his chair. He would sit in his chair, and then he would have the Brewer game on, probably at that time, UPN, Channel 24 for those who are from Wisconsin.
UPN, Channel 24.
Probably have it on. He had the TV muted, and he had that black radio sitting right there on that table.
Silver antenna.
Its antenna pointed up, right? And he would have Bob Uecker. So my grandpa would sit there, listen to Brewers baseball, and watch it with Bob Uecker. And so for me, I always remember my grandpa doing that. You're a kid, you love your grandpa, right? You love your family, and so seeing him do that was
do they love their one spot that they always sit in.
They always sit in. And so for me, the memories of Bob Uecker always connected me to the fact that I just remember my grandpa as a kid sitting in that chair and loving baseball. He used to play stickball growing up. Black guy from the South. They played stickball, and he loved him some Bob Uecker. So for me to be able to watch him, and then I had a moment where Bob Uecker had actually said my name because he engineered a baseball game here at 620 WTMJ. And thank you to this person, Kyle Wallace. I said, ooh, that's me. And I was thinking how proud my grandpa would be to be able to hear his grandson's name being called by the legendary Bob Uecker, where he used to sit in that chair and listen to Brewers baseball. So it's so beautiful, and the memories that you make just hearing the voice of Bob Uecker and what it means for families here in Wisconsin.
Yeah, Kyle, that's so well said, because when someone is this consistent from our own birth until now, you can hear the voice and it can transport you, right? It can transport you to a different moment, right? Whether it be me in childhood or other places along the way. In high school, there was a cousin who's passed away of mine who I remember listening to games with him. And so when I hear Bob Uecker, it was me, it was Drew, and there was a third voice in that dynamic, and it was Bob Uecker. So to be able to then listen to him now, even to hear the voice that Strophy's playing in and out of breaks, it can just transport you to just vivid memories that, again, it transcends baseball, it transcends Brewers. It's the touchstone of relationships. So it's beautiful to hear, and it's a lot to celebrate.
Jason in Sheboygan, 800-990-3776. You're up on the Carbless Talk and Text line. Liz is more.
Hey, guys, I just want to share this story. I was 19 with 2 buddies. We took a road trip to Minneapolis. It was in May, 1991. And we're sitting in an hotel, and it was a Friday night, and they played Saturday and Sunday against the Twins. And we had a couple beverages. And I said, watch this, guys. And I said, I bet they're staying at the Hyatt. I called up, and I said, hey, can I speak to Bob Uecker, please? And the person who answered waited a couple seconds, said, who's calling? I said, this is Michael Ballman, the Milwaukee Journal. 1 second. And the only reason, Uecker's from his voice, and he got on, he goes, hey, Mike, how's it going? I was shocked. And I said, I'm sorry, Mr. Uecker, this is Jason from Sheboygan. We're in town, and we're wondering if we get some autographs. He wasn't too happy, but I said, I guess that's a no, but I just thought that's a kind of cute little story for you guys.
That's hilarious.
I appreciate the hustle.
Yeah.
Hey, this is a good idea. And I halfway through, I was like, this is a bad idea. This ain't going to go well. But I love that he had the attempt. The story would be obviously amazing if you came. Here's what you should have done. You should have asked him to come down and you buy him a beer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When you do the autograph picture, I'd rather share an experience with somebody and spend time with somebody and offer them the experience.
Well, I got bad news. He said he was 19. It was 1991.
Oh, yeah. It was probably banned. You probably had to be 21 at that time.
Dang. They had fakes.
Yeah, they
he said he had some beverages. He didn't say what type. He said he had some beverages.
But you're totally right, Ben. And this is where if you do have a story, a personal interaction with Uecker that maybe is at a bar or something like that, I would rather.
I could picture myself with like this guy doing this. This guy's at a hotel in 91. Like what the phone looks like, and it's got the weird, circular ring dial, and they're calling up to the room.
The rotary. Yeah. Phones connected to the rotary. Very weird.
Very
weird.
How cool, how crazy it was. I'm sure Bob probably said some words after he got the phone. He probably told somebody, "Hey, these kids." But how cool it is for Jason to be able to actually have that memory where he did something so stupid. But at the end of the day, that's awesome. I wish I had a chance to talk to Bob like that. That's awesome.
He said your name.
He did say my name. I'm pretty sure.
Now, did he say it?
Snapchat?
Did he say it with some like as if he's doing a baseball announcement?
He said it like Bob Uecker says it, boy. And
and with his fourth strikeout, Kyle Wallace
about to be demoted back down to the triple.
Just the fact that my name came out of his mouth. I could probably go find that audio. I'm pretty sure.
Designated for assignment, Kyle Wallace.
Doesn't matter. He said my name.
That is very cool.
Say my name.
Say my name, say my name.
When no one is around you.
I don't know how we got right there right now. But what I know that we can do to help people in the world that we're in right now is to donate with redcross.org/ESPN. If you are able, please help the affected by the California wildfires in 2025 by donating at redcross.org/ESPN. That's redcross.org/ESPN to help the Red Cross respond and help people recover. The importance of everything that's going on. If you can help, definitely help. But I do want to get to Jason Wilde because we do know that Jason has been around sports. He has an affinity towards the 1982 team and Robin Yount. So there will be some U connections. And also, I am curious because Goody spoke today. And Goody has not made anything anywhere near my For You page or just my normal page of people I follow because this is the day of Bob Uecker. So it will be nice to get some information straight from the source in Jason Wilde, who covers the Green Bay Packers, and continue to hear stories from all of you on Bob Uecker. It's Kyle, Brust, and Nortman across ESPN Wisconsin. Don't go anywhere.
Top of the sixth, and rookie sensation Ricky Vaughn on the pitch now. You can close the book on Kellner.
Thank God. Rest in peace, Mr. Baseball. The voice of the Milwaukee Brewers, Bob Uecker, has passed away. Celebrate the life of a legend right here on ESPN Wisconsin.
Starting off with some delays along westbound 94 through the stadium interchange, so watch out for that. Broken down vehicles southbound on 41, right about at Burleigh. It's off on the right shoulder, just enough to make for a few taps of the brakes, backing up into Capitol Drive. Otherwise, everything else seems to be rolling along pretty well. And checking the GMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, mostly cloudy with a low of 24. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy and breezy, mild with a high of 42. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazagon, 94.5 ESPN.
With Wilde and Tausch, you won't miss a play.
Romeo. This three-syllable, you have to take the O out of the equation. That's too easy.
Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Iota, right? Not one iota.
Iota. Yeah. That's only 4 letters.
Weekdays from 9 to noon.
Let's pretend you're a first-time listener to Wilde and Tausch. What the hell is this? They're discussing syllables.
On 94.5 ESPN, the Wisconsin On Demand app, and at ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Winning in the NFL comes down to the basics, blocking and tackling. In retirement, the certainty of protection and income are the keys to success. And as a former NFL player myself, I have experience with both. Hi, I'm Mitch Lyons. Having played on winning teams with the Steelers and Falcons, studying game films helped me mentally prepare for the challenges ahead. Now I star in a new Hollywood documentary called The Retirement Deception to help you visualize and prepare for your fourth quarter of life why. You see, you don't retire on your nest egg, but rather the income it can produce. This film shows you exactly how to protect your retirement from stock market drops and produce more income than you thought possible. And it's free for you to view. Call 855-620-1801 right now for your free streaming code to watch The Retirement Deception. Don't risk your retirement savings at the goal line. You don't need to be risky to have a winning strategy. Call today to speak with an all-pro retirement specialist to get your free streaming code to watch The Retirement Deception. Call today. 855-620-1801. That's 855-620-1801. MitchLyonsWealth.com. Your best game plan to protect, grow, and win retirement.
Football season. Best time of the year and my favorite time of the year. This is ESPN Wisconsin's Brad Nortman. On game days, my favorite teammate is a cold carbless in my hand. Premium cocktails in a can made right here in the great state of Wisconsin. Maybe it's when I'm at the tailgate ahead of kickoff or getting ready at home for the game. Carbless is there. Zero sugar, zero carbs, and gluten-free. Carbless features classic cocktails like margarita, Paloma, and even Moscow Mule, and vodka cocktail flavors like cranberry, lemon, and peach. Find it on your next grocery trip. Carbless. Less is more.
Is it time to buy an engagement ring?
Or a big anniversary diamond?
Kessler's has diamonds that come from diamond mines.
And we also have diamonds that come from plasma chambers.
When you see the size of the diamond you can afford when you look at our high-tech newborn created diamonds,
you're going to be happy, happy, happy.
And with approved credit, our financing plans make anything possible.
Our selection of engagement rings is beyond compare.
And our custom design department can modify any ring in any way you choose.
Anyone who says they can give you a better ring
or a better diamond
or a better price
has never been to Kessler's.
And our miraculous no small print warranty says,
if you bought it at Kessler's, it's guaranteed.
It's just that simple.
And all maintenance is free forever.
No charge.
Yes, it really is that miraculous.
You found a partner you want to share your life with.
When you're ready to celebrate,
we've got a diamond for that.
Find the Kessler's nearest you at KesslersDiamonds.com.
This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN, on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. The Wolf of Wall Street was on the other day when I was flipping through channel. Great family film.
Three-time Wisconsin Sports Writer of the Year.
I'm a naturally inquisitive person.
Holding everybody accountable.
If you feel better about that, I'm happy to do so.
Jason Wilde is on Kyle, Brust, and Nortman.
Joining us now on Kyle, Brust, and Nortman is Jason Wilde. Listen to Jason weekdays 9 to noon across these very stations on Wilde and Tausch. Ben Brust, Kyle Wallace, Brad Nortman, Strophe running the show. Jason, good day. How are you? Well,
I'm good, guys. How are you?
We're doing pretty good. You know, obviously just love hearing from the fans and hearing stories and the connection points that everybody seems to have with Bob Uecker. I definitely want to spend some time because I am interested in what Goody had to say because I didn't really have a chance to hear any of it because a lot of the content that I've been consuming has been Uecker-based. But in terms of an impact, you know, is there anybody that you've seen that has had a bigger impact than Uecker? We had somebody call in from, you know, that moved from Africa and learned baseball through Uecker on the radio. Like he's more than something in Wisconsin. He's literally Mr. Baseball. You know, how do you summarize how big he is for this state?
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible that someone who batted 200 in the major leagues would be such an incredible influence on so many people, right? I mean, we're so focused on accomplishment, and this guy was the GOAT, and that guy was, you know, this or that, and for a player who, from a purely player's perspective, was a very good defensive catcher, by the way. For those who watched him play, I certainly didn't, but for those that know a lot more about baseball than I do, they will tell you, even though he joked about the best way to catch a knuckleball is to wait for it to stop rolling and pick it up. He was a really good defensive player. And I would say this, that, you know, obviously everyone is talking about, myself included, how he was the soundtrack of our summers. And, you know, for me, growing up on the south side of Milwaukee, his calls during an era when most games, almost all games, were not on TV. He was the connection you had to your favorite team. And so, that's why it's such a difficult loss today, is because not only is there the connectivity with him, but it is also to many of our childhoods and the nostalgia of that time. But I think what's amazing about him, two things. One, he is a Milwaukeean. Like, he was born and raised in Milwaukee. So, yeah, he played for the Braves, which was obviously phenomenal, and obviously he became an icon with the baseball franchise in Milwaukee. I mean, bottom line is he's one of us. And so I think that's really important. And then secondly, the way he transcended the game. No doubt, Mr. Baseball, right? I must be in the front row. But the reality is that he was such a diversely talented person and so innately funny. I mean, I was watching the clip of him with Andre the Giant at WrestleMania. I was watching some old clips from Mr. Belvedere. Obviously, everyone has seen at some point during the course of today clips of him in Major League as Harry Doyle.
Strofe, have you seen Major League? Okay. You're not a big movie guy. I just want to make sure you check that one off.
That is one of the few classic movies I have actually seen multiple times.
That's a Wisconsin that you got to see.
Yeah, good.
What league you been playing in? California Penal. So anyway, I just think that, when you think back to all the different things that he did in addition, I mean, my favorite thing that I've watched today when I've had an opportunity when we weren't, doing the show or talking to Goody, were his appearances on Johnny Carson. I mean, I was too young for many of them as well. And so to watch him and watch that he was so just naturally funny that someone of the, gravitas in entertainment of Johnny Carson loved having him on so much that he was on more than 100 times. I think that says everything you need to know about how entertaining he was.
I don't want to compare any of us to Bob Uecker, of course.
Why'd you even start that way?
Oh my God, where are we
going
let me
with
finish
this?
this question here.
No, the way you started, this better finish really good.
But we're all in broadcasting to some degree, and we all grew up listening to Bob Uecker, and we all idolize Bob Uecker for what he did both on and off the airwaves. Is there anything, a characteristic that he had, a cadence, something about Bob Uecker that you listened to at a young age that you thought to yourself, you know what, when I'm behind the microphone, I would love to replicate this characteristic because, darn it, Bob Uecker does it so well?
So I would take that in a different direction because I first of all, I never could be a play-by-play guy. Like, I certainly did my share of imitating Bob Uecker in our backyard on the south side of Milwaukee, playing wiffle ball and doing the play-by-play for that. But, like, the stuff that Gabe and Jesse and Riley Yauk and Hunter Vaughn and everyone else that we have that does play-by-play work, obviously Homer, that's just next level, and I could never do that as a professional. But I will say this, and I told this story this morning. I've told it once or twice over the years. When the Brewers won in Baltimore on the last day of the 82 regular season, after losing 3 in a row, and had they lost then that final game, they would have missed the playoffs because back then, kids, you won't believe this, but there were 2 divisions in each league, and you had to win the division to make the playoffs. And then the 2 division winners played each other, and then the winner of that series went to the World Series. And so the Brewers would have missed the playoffs had they not won that. So they win, and my dad decides we're going to go to General Mitchell International Airport and greet the team upon its arrival from Baltimore and get autographs and pictures and whatever else. And, a guy that, and I'm a nostalgic person to begin with.
You don't keep any memorabilia or anything.
No, not at all. Some great. This will lead into a reference into Bob Uecker, by the way. It's going to take a while though. But yes, I've got all my stuff in my office at Lambeau, etc. And so I'm there. I'm 10 years old, and quite frankly, my dad was frustrated with me for not being more aggressive and going up to guys as they walk down the terminal from getting off the plane. And I will always cherish the memory of Don Sutton, who was the winning pitcher that day, putting his arm around me, diagnosing the situation, seeing a 10-year-old kid his dad getting after him for being too shy, and him putting his arm around me and saying, "Come on, I'll introduce you to the guys." And meeting, Yount and Molitor and Gantner and Ogilvy and all the big names, but also Bob Uecker. I have the baseball. It's yellow. It's hard to read some of the names, but I still have the baseball in our radio studio in our basement.
Oh, that's beautiful.
And I remember,
so cool.
I remember meeting Uecker, and again, I think what I respect the most about him is that he understood what a big deal it was for a kid like me today, or back then, or a kid today, or a grown-up today. I mean, we had 50 and 60 and 70-year-old people calling in today at our show, remembering listening to him on the radio early on in his career. And my point is that, the thing that I have always tried to take, and he's not the only one that influenced me, but he did influence me on this, is even though I think it's ridiculous for someone to think it's a big deal to meet me, I always try to remember that if those people think it's a big deal, then I need to treat them in a way that makes them remember that interaction in a very positive way. And that was what I got from all those guys that day, including Uecker at the airport. And then other times, I said my good buddy Drew Olson, who covered the Brewers for a long time for the Journal-Sentinel, introduced me to him again. It must have been like 10 years ago now, or maybe even more. And he just always made you feel like he was down to earth, and that it was okay for you to be kind of overwhelmed by being, oh my God, it's Ueck, right? And so I would hope that all of us, since we're all none of us are Uecker, obviously. Only one of us played in the NFL. Only one of us played in the NBA, at least in the league. And so I think it's important that we all remember that whether we think it should be the case or not, there are times where it's a really big deal to people that they get to talk to us and meet us and talk Packers or whatever it might be. And I do always try and kind of take that lesson and always keep it top of mind. We had a bunch of kids coming through Lambeau Field today. They had there were buses lined up for miles in the parking lot. They had some sort of leadership group that had 1,000 kids coming through, and they all went on a tour. So, like, from the time Goody ended to when I left my office, there was a tour coming through every couple of minutes. And I always keep my door open because I just like to be able to interact with people if they come by, and plus it gets stuffy in there. And so I got a lot of, bobbleheads and a bunch of other junk that Paula doesn't want in the house. And people always peek in and say hello, or say they listen to the show or watch me on TV. And so I was reminded of that again today in light of Uecker's passing, that, hey, again, I don't think it's a big deal to meet me. But if you think that, then I owe it to you to treat you in a way that you'll walk away going, boy, that was really cool. I got to meet Jason Wilde, which seems ridiculous as all get out to me, but not to maybe those people.
Yeah, that's just amazing. And what I love about this, right, and obviously in a sad day for the Uecker family, in a sad day for the state of Wisconsin, a sad day for baseball as well, we can talk about these great memories. I got a question for you real quick, Jason. The game Uecker, is it named after Bob Uecker? Did anybody else think that when they heard the game Uecker before?
It's okay that you did, but no.
No, nobody else thought that?
It is spelled differently.
I didn't know that. I just heard people say the game Uecker, and I was like, is it named after Bob Uecker?
Clearly you don't know how to play.
No. I do not know how to play. But Jason, one thing that I think is really special is that in broadcasting, the sports broadcasters become so legendary, right? Like, what do you think made it that these sports broadcasters like a Vince Scully and like a Bob Uecker, and for me as well, like I think of local broadcaster like a Jim Plasky. Like, what makes them so legendary and become like the voice of your childhood, the voice of your adulthood, the voice of coming of life and coming of age? Why do you think they become so legendary, these voices?
Well, longevity is the most important piece of this, right? Like, the fact that he did it for, I don't know, I have a bobblehead, of course I do, and it's got the little chip in there that plays clips of his calls, like Yount's 3,000th hit, Swaim's home run in '87 before all you guys were born to extend their winning streak to 12 in a row to start the year and get our free hamburgers at George Webb. And it says on their 51st season as the voice of the Brewers. Like, you have to be damn good to keep the job that long, for one, right? I mean, we work in a business in terms of the radio aspect of it and it's a terrible aspect of it, but knock on wood, I hope I don't have to experience it, but people get fired all the time. And for him to become that woven into the fabric of that organization, and Vin Scully the same way with the Dodgers. But also I would add the versatility, like Vin Scully called NFL games. And as we discovered from a tweet from my buddy Ben Steele, who covers Marquette for the Journal Sentinel, that Bob Uecker did some Marquette games in the 70s. Dennis Krause pointed out in a column that he did UW Milwaukee baseball games. Like, think about that, right? I mean, he would do the national games. I only got to see a piece of it because it was during the commercial break, but I got to see, I was watching a documentary about him, and Al Michaels is there talking about doing national baseball games on ABC with Uecker. So, first of all, you have to be damn good, and then you have to do it for a long time. And, again, that's another aspect of this. Like, he was 90. As much as Paula would like to have me out of the house regularly, I don't know if I can make it to 90 covering the Packers, but I would like to make it to 50 seasons, which would mean I got another 20 to go. But that's what I think makes you, I won't say legendary because I don't want to apply that to me, but certainly to him.
Oh, you're a legend, Jason.
To that point, that you get to that point in your career that, just generation after generation identifies with you in that role.
Well, Jason, if you're okay with it, we'd love to keep you if you have more time. If you don't, we understand on the other side.
I don't, but for you guys, I'll do it anyway.
All right. Well, we appreciate it because we do want to get some insights on what Goody had to say in his press conference. Jason Wilde, short on time. We'll be back with us soon.
Hader ready again. Here it is. Swinging fly ball in the right center. Broxton is there. And they're the champions. They have done it.
Rest in peace to a legend. Bob Uecker has passed away at the age of 90. Celebrate the life of Mr. Baseball right here on ESPN Wisconsin.
Southbound on 794, right just south of Car Ferry Drive, the two left lanes are blocked with a crash. So watch out for those delays. We've also got some backups on 41 southbound from Silver Spring all the way down to Burleigh. Also, southbound 43 through the Marquette interchange is going to be a little bit tight. Westbound on 94, watch for delays from 25th Street to Mitchell Boulevard. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, mostly cloudy skies, a low of 24. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, breezy and mild, a high of 42 with a slight mix later on in the evening. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga, 94.5 ESPN.
Hey, this is Brad Nortman, here to tell you about my friends at Bank 5-9. Everywhere I go throughout the area, I see Bank 5-9, and it's no wonder why. Not only do they have 14 branch locations, but their employees spend nearly 9,000 hours each year volunteering in the communities that they serve. That's on top of the financial support that they provide to several hundred nonprofits right here in southeastern Wisconsin. If you're looking for a true local community bank. Check them out today at bank59.com. Member FDIC.
Ready for a win? Well, it's your year. At Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee, you can win over $2,000 in free play every month all year long. Just play your favorite games and you might take the stage in the It's Your Year game show. 25 winners each Thursday. There's $300,000 in cash and prizes up for grabs this January. Yeah, we think it's your year. More info at paysbig.com. Must be 21 years old to play.
Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center is hosting another Scramble tournament with $750 in cash prizes available. Hey ESPN Milwaukee, this is Gary Ellison, and Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center invites you to play in a two-man scramble at Pebble Beach, all from their comfortable golf simulators. Grab a friend and sign up today at wisconsinindoorgolfcenter.com. The tournament costs $120 per pairing and is happening now through January 31st. Your winter chance to play Pebble Beach awaits. wisconsinindoorgolfcenter.com.
Homer here. I'm inviting you to join me starting August the 9th as we explore the many shades of Ireland with Colette Vacations, a 10-day journey filled with legendary views, historic expeditions, and unforgettable tales. Explore the historic city of Dublin, kiss the famous Blarney Stone, and stand on the spectacular cliffs of Moher. We'll also journey Ireland's breathtaking countryside and follow the stunning coastal route of the Ring of Kerry. We'll experience the daily life of an Irish family with a dairy farm visit and enjoy a taste or two at a historic whiskey distillery. We'll even stay overnight in a medieval castle. Join me for all of the experiences and so many more. All the details are online at espnmilwaukeetravel.com. espnmilwaukeetravel.com. Don't worry about the planning. Colette handles all of the details of the 10-day excursion. Your job, have the time of your life. Don't miss it. Visit espnmilwaukeetravel.com or text Homer to 800-990-3776. The trip of a lifetime awaits.
It's my nature to be fearless.
Gruber Law Offices presents Thanalysis.
One day it's all gonna end. What am I scared of?
A podcast from Thanasis Antetokounmpo.
I've airball, free throws. I've turned the ball over. I've missed game-winning shots.
Also supported by Carbless, premium ready-to-drink cocktails.
I don't care, man. I only live once. Can't go back.
And Potawatomi Casino Hotel in Milwaukee.
There's nothing for me to fear.
Subscribe on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. You're listening to Kyle, Brust, and Nortman on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
So tell me now, do you want it? 'Cause these dancing feet don't cry to the rhythm they cry for you.
A double dose of Jason Wilde on Kyle, Brust, and Nortman. We'll get right to it. Jason, thanks for staying for 2 segments.
Anything for Brad.
Oh, Jason, that just made me smile.
What did Kyle do?
Yeah, what did I do to you, Jason?
that the euchre card game thing, man. You've been in. How long have you lived in Wisconsin?
Come on now, Jason. Now you went to school. Black people don't play euchre.
I don't play euchre.
Black people don't play euchre. That's not the game we play. So I didn't grow up knowing nothing about euchre.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't play it either. I don't play, but I knew it wasn't named after Bob Uecker.
Hey, I'm like, what is this euchre game y'all talking about? Y'all named a card game after him? That's what's up.
Man, yeah. How many Hall of Fames is he in, Strofe?
Like 800 of them. The Milwaukee Performing Arts Hall of Fame to the WWE Hall of Fame. Every one of them.
So, Jason, as we're happy to have you for just a little bit longer here, full transparency, I don't know what Brad, Kyle, even Strofe, I know you've just got the clips and been digging into them. What's the biggest takeaway you have from what Goody had to say to the media today?
Yeah, I mean, we obviously talked about a bunch of things. He wants to have Brandon McManus back. He believes that there was a lot of growth. He believes that Jordan Love is headed in the right. All the stuff that you would expect. Didn't rule out the idea of Jair Alexander still being on this team, but I think he was just being polite, and he's not about to say, "Yeah, it's time to move on from him. We've had enough of that guy."
You didn't. I guess it was Murphy who called Rodgers a complicated fella.
Yeah, he didn't. There were no complicated fellas, none of that kind of stuff. But I know we cut this up. I think Ryan Wollersheim and Madison did the yeoman's work of doing it. But I asked a handful of questions during the 35 minutes, and quite frankly, we kind of ended it. We ended it with my question, just because. And look, let me be clear. I think it's I think there's a lot of positive here. There is. And I do think that they are a team that's improving and all kinds of great stuff in the future. But eventually I just said, Goody, I know there's been a lot of growth and you got a lot of really good football players on your team, but the bottom line is you went 11-6 and you didn't get to where you wanted to go. And his answer to that, it's the lead of my story. It was, I thought, really important for him to say this. He said, we need to continue to ramp up our sense of urgency. The life of a player in the National Football League is not very long. We've got a bunch of good guys in that locker room. We've got a bunch of talented guys in that locker room. And I think it's time we started competing for championships. I think they're ready. So,
I'm glad you got that out of him because that's substance.
And I would turn to Brad on this, having played in the NFL, not because he's my favorite, because I love you guys all the same. Well, maybe Brad a little bit more. But what I think, and Kyle, you're ahead of Brust too. But
that's good to know. I'm not at the bottom.
What I would say is that I got the sense, because some of the other things he said too kind of rattled around in my brain. I got the sense that he kind of feels like these guys, because they're young, are thinking, well, there's always next year, right? That urgency line that he says there, I wonder if he's thinking, well, these guys are all thinking, well, I got my whole NFL career ahead of me. So, yeah, it would have been nice to beat the Eagles, or, yeah, it would have been nice to beat the 49ers, but, hey, we'll get there. And I'm as guilty of that as anybody, because I did think that their window was just opening and that they were a year away. But I think Goody's point is that once you get in the tournament, anything can happen, and you got to do everything you can to make it happen. And I think he would argue that maybe they didn't have the level of, okay, there may not be a next year, right? We may get destroyed by injuries and all the other things that he would be worried about as the GM. And he'd be telling his guys, look, we got to do it now. Nothing is promised that we're suddenly going to take the next step and be in the NFC Championship game next season. So to me, I thought that was a really interesting message, that because he's not just talking to us, he is talking to the team when he says that sort of stuff.
Yeah, that's so good from Goody, because you always think these windows last longer than they actually do. They open and close very fast in the NFL. And I made the observation yesterday. I said, listen, I think it's a good thing that this team experienced a humbling moment, which was the last 2 weeks of the regular season, and losing to Philadelphia, because like Tucker Kraft said, I think they needed a wake-up call to realize that it just doesn't all come together at the end of the season, that you need a little bit of a humbling to take that hard growth step. Do you think that Goody was directing that message of a sense of urgency to anyone in particular, or do you think that this is a holistic, organizational, we all need to look at ourselves, that includes me, Goody, that we all need to maybe do something a little bit different to get different results?
Yeah, I don't think it was directed at anyone other than the collective. Because and I had said this to him when I asked him about what they got from Jacobs and from McKinney. I said, those guys weren't home runs. Those guys were like walk-off grand slams. And he said, I appreciate that. But the bottom line is, and he knows this better than anybody, that's great. Now what? Right? Like Jed Bartlett on The West Wing. What's next? Like, yeah, great. You signed arguably the two biggest pickups in free agency. Maybe Saquon and maybe Derrick Henry are ahead of them. But overall, like the best two-person free agent class belonged to the Packers. Now you got to do it again. Now you got to figure out who's available and who can. Is it T. Higgins? I don't know. We talked a lot about number one wide receivers with him today. But, he's got to have another good draft. They had a great draft this year where, Cooper looks like a stud. Evan Williams looks like a stud. They're excited about Javon Bullard. Once Jordan Morgan is healthy, I think they see him as a decade-long starter on their offensive line. Last year's draft class with Wicks and Reed and Carrington Valentine, who they think is a starting corner, like they feel really good about those draft classes. But he better damn
was Rasheed Walker in that as well, or is he 3 years ago?
I think this is third season.
He's 22. So the 22 class is Quay Walker, Devontae Wyatt, Romeo Doubs, Zach Tom, and Rasheed Walker. Those are all starters. Right? So those last 3 drafts have been really good. Now, I know there are some that aren't necessarily impressed with Walker or Wyatt, but I thought Goody's answer when he was asked about them today, they're getting the 5th-year options. I don't think there's any question about it. Like, he didn't say that, but the way he talked about them, it would be a surprise now to me if they didn't. So, again, there's a lot to do. Lots of people have to do their jobs well for them to win a Super Bowl. But it doesn't matter that he's had 3 good draft classes and picked up 2 of the best players in football in free agency last year. He's got to do it again. And they're going to have the cap space. That's the other thing that's important here. Like, they'll have to sign their draft class and whatever else, but they're going to have money to spend in free agency. So how do they spend it? He pointed out that they also have guys that they want to keep of their own. Now, that might not be this year. That might be Zach Tom and Rasheed Walker getting extensions. But, again, he's got to stay on top of his game. Doesn't matter how good he's been and how much, my co-host Tausch would love to just tell us how great he is all the time. He has been great, but he's got to continue to be great if they're going to win a Super Bowl.
Well, Jason, we do appreciate the insights from your conversation with Goody. We'll be listening to you on Wilde and Tausch, and I wish you could promote you and Strofe on Green Bay Game Day pregame, but that is not in the cards. We will talk to you next week.
Well, we're recording weekly Wilde, though, so you can promote that, because Lord knows Strofe needs more promotion.
Right?
I always need more promotion. Thanks, Jason.
You're welcome, buddy. All right, guys, take care. Be good.
That's Jason Wilde, my biggest fan. You can hear him on Wilde and Tausch 9 to noon across these very stations.
Why are you at the bottom of everybody's totem pole? Excuse me.
Wait, who else?
Phenomenon.
Who else?
If you ask Jen, Gabe, and Chewy to rank who they like the most out of us 3, he would be at the bottom. If you ask, obviously, you just asked Jason Wilde, he's at the bottom. I'm sure if you
Jim
ask
Matt
Homer,
Molly, maybe?
Bottom, Jim Matt
definitely.
Molly. Homer, the bottom.
Homer loves me.
Hell, if we
Homer does love him.
But if we had to rank our show, Ben would probably be at the bottom for everybody.
Okay, we're going to hit more Bob Uecker conversation as we celebrate his life.
You, man.
Love you.
I'll cry myself. I'm going to cry myself to sleep. Hey, shout out to me. 1 hour and 47 minutes and 17 seconds, and I haven't mentioned the fact that I was in the hospital getting 6 stitches in my lip last night. Lot to get to. And Carl Ravitch will be joining us at 4:15. We will be playing Bob Uecker's Hall of Fame speech in 2003 in its entirety to end our show. Don't go anywhere. It's Kyle, Brust, and Nortman.
You're listening to Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN.
Let them know the dread-headed brother loves the Green Bay Packers. When you see me, Goody, let me in the box.
On ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com. Whether it's live or in podcast form, you've heard us on air with all of our shenanigans.
Gabe, I'm throwing some. Why are you throwing? I don't want.
Now see your favorite 94.5 ESPN shows streaming on video.
By me, by the way. I hit that microphone like 4 out of 6 times on that.
Subscribe to ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube and get notified when we hit the air live. Plus, you can watch back any second that you miss and see original digital content too. Watch, listen, interact. ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
Do you want to have more fun watching the NFL playoffs? Try playing Sleeper Picks. Just download the Sleeper app today and pick more or less on at least 2 players' projected stats. You can win up to 100 times your cash. For a limited time, Sleeper has a special offer. New users have to just play $5 and they'll receive $55 in free entries. Just download the Sleeper app today and use code BRAD, B-R-A-D.
Must be 18 years or older. Promo code, location, other restrictions apply. Minimum deposit $25. See terms of use for details. Please play responsibly. Call 1-800-426-2537 for help.
Winning in the NFL comes down to the basics, blocking and tackling. In retirement, the certainty of protection and income are the keys to success. And as a former NFL player myself, I have experience with both. Hi, I'm Mitch Lyons. Having played on winning teams with the Steelers and Falcons, studying game films helped me mentally prepare for the challenges ahead. Now I star in a new Hollywood documentary called The Retirement Deception to help you visualize and prepare for your 4th quarter of life. You see, you don't retire on your nest egg, but rather the income it can produce. This film shows you exactly how to protect your retirement from stock market drops drops and produce more income than you thought possible. And it's free for you to view. Call 855-620-1801 right now for your free streaming code to watch The Retirement Deception. Don't risk your retirement savings at the goal line. You don't need to be risky to have a winning strategy. Call today to speak with an all-pro retirement specialist to get your free streaming code to watch The Retirement Deception. Call today. 855-620-1801. That's 855-620-1801. MitchLyonsWealth.com. Your best game plan to protect, grow, and win retirement.
Looking for the most popular answer. What's the worst thing about Wisconsin winters? Gina Della from Pella.
Finding a sitter when snow closes school. It's the time of the year when we just want to be all warm and snuggly at home. And Pella helps make your home as beautiful on the outside as it is comfortable on the inside. With inviting doors to let friends and family in and beautiful energy-efficient windows to keep the cold out. Celebrate the new year with 0% interest for up to 3 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Certain restrictions apply.
Hi, this is John Neal, CPA and founder of the Neal Group. I have a question for you business owners. What does your CPA do for you? We have signed on several new business clients who told us the same story. Does this sound like you? You can never get a hold of your CPA. Phone calls are not returned and questions are never answered. You don't get any advice to help you run your business. Not at the Neal Group. We usually return phone calls and emails the same day. We are advocates and partners with our clients to help them grow, not just record history. Do you want to grow your business, improve cash flow, have less stress, and live a better life? We can help. Call us at 414-325-2040 or visit nealgroup.net to book a meeting to tell us your story and see if we can help. The first meeting is free. Don't wait, do it now. That's 414-325-2040 or nealgroup.net.
Join Milwaukee Panthers men's basketball for an exciting weekend of hoops action at UWM Panther Arena. On Friday, Milwaukee takes on Youngstown State at 7, followed by a Sunday matinee with Robert Morris at 2. Experience all the action, including rim-rattling dunks, clutch three-pointers, and game-changing blocks. Tickets start at $13. Help tilt the floor. Visit MKEPanthers.com to select your seat. Panther Athletics for the MKE.
You're listening to Kyle, Brust, and Nortman on ESPN Wisconsin and WisconsinOnDemand.com.
Adamas aboard at first. This one in the air. Left and deep. Get up. Get out of here. Gone. Reese Hoskins has just hit one with the bases loaded. Whoa. That didn't take long at all.
Man, he sounds young and vivacious and strong.
That is the first observation I had when listening to that.
Totally.
That was this past season for the Milwaukee Brewers.
June 24th.
Unbelievable.
Incredible.
My goodness, what a legend.
And as we always say, powerful. Damn. Pow! Yeah. Quickly, Stevie Sports Cards, 800-990-3776. You're up on Kyle, Brust, and Nortman.
All right, thanks for having me, guys. I just wanted to point out that, Brad kind of posed a question, what makes it so special, like what he does? And it hit me. I was thinking back to when I was at Marquette University, and I had my own radio show. I had my own talk radio show, but also did the men's play-by-play on the radio. And I was thinking, usually you want to be like someone, right? Well, I remember wanting to be like Gus Johnson or whatever and kind of watching clips and trying to be him. And even though Uecker was baseball, I remember actually trying to listen to him thinking, hey, I want to do what he does. But then it was out of the question, right? No one is Bob Uecker. You don't try to be Bob Uecker because you can't be. There's a level of authenticity there with which he transcends the game, and he's done it for me and my buddies over the years. I'll throw you guys a gem. 1987 team video, Magic, Miracles, and True Believers. My friends and I still quote it today. Check it out. You guys won't be disappointed. Thank you for letting me say thank you to a hero of mine. I love you, Bob. You will not be forgotten.
Thank you, Stevie, for your insights on Mr. Bob Uecker. If you have any stories, we'll be hearing from you the rest of the show till 5 o'clock, or I guess till 4:40 when we play his Hall of Fame speech in its entirety.
Do we understand how hard it is to be a play-by-play sports announcer, but then talk about in radio where a lot of times where Bob Uecker just rolls solo? And I was just, when he was talking about that, I was reminiscing on when I was at the University of Wisconsin Whitewater. They made the playoffs, and I got to call like a playoff game of UW Whitewater.
Thank you.
Yeah. On radio. And I just think to myself, when I was trying to do it, I was trying to mock what I heard like a Brian Anderson do, and also what I heard Bob Uecker do, because you just try to do storytelling in between. And I'm like, I'm a kid, I don't know these guys, but it's just so hard. But Bob,
he must have good times at parties.
Yeah, for real. Bob was so great at telling stories. I'm telling you, it was not a broadcast of just a baseball game. It was a storytelling broadcast where you were entertained at every single moment. It seemed like the baseball game interrupted his great storytelling of life.
I mean, he could literally be telling a story and being, then I walked into a bar, low and outside, and then I kept he just kept on rolling through it, and he made it all seamless and beautiful and entertaining.
That is so true. Like it could be like 3 or 4 pitches, and you may not know the count, but you're like, I don't care about the count. Yeah. I want to know how this story from Bob Uecker finishes.
100%.
800-990-3776 is the Carbless Talk and Text line. Another great partner of ours is Gina Della from Pella.
Oh, that's right. Then Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin with Gina Della from Pella. That is your go-to when it comes to renovating your home, keeping that warm air inside and not outside where it wants to escape to, because it is plenty cold out there. And for these days in winter, you're reminded that those drafty doors, those drafty windows, they got to be replaced. And you got to go with Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin for that. And because of a new year, they're offering you a new opportunity. 0% interest for up to 3 years with Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, but you got to hurry. This deal ends January 31st, so visit PellaWI.com today. Give them a call. Tell them KBN sent you. They love us over there. And renovate and transform your home with Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Ben Brust, Kyle Wallace, Brad Nortman. A little bit of news for everyone here. We'll be doing a 414 Hour 4 on YouTube at ESPN Milwaukee, right here on 94.5 ESPN. You'll get Jim, Matt, and Molly in Madison at 4 o'clock. You'll get the Damn Sports Show in Beaver Dam. We'll have Carl Ravitch, who has done Baseball Tonight, now Sunday play-by-play for Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN. He will join us to talk about the scope of Bob Uecker, as we've talked from Wisconsin sense. I want to know how far Bob reaches, as he is Mr. Baseball. We'll also play the entirety of Bob's Hall of Fame speech at around 4:40 to finish the show leading into the Homer Hour. But Screamin' Sicilian Pizza is absolutely amazing. You heard about the BOGO. Kyle got his buy one, get one. Strofe got his buy one, get one. I got my buy one, get one. Piggly Wiggly has a sale about Screamin' Sicilian. And all your Screamin' Sicilian favorites are on sale for $6.99. Stock up on Screamin' Sicilian, stuffed crust, Detroit style, tavern style. There's something for everybody. Head on over to your local Piggly Wiggly store and stock up on Screamin' Sicilian for just $6.99 now through January 21st. $6.99 now through January 21st at Piggly Wiggly. Screamin' Sicilian. Taste what all that screaming is about. The 414 Hour at 4 continues next in 2 minutes. More Bob Uecker. Don't go anywhere.
Sell out with me, oh yeah, sell out.
Southbound on 794, right just south of Car Ferry Drive. The 2 left lanes are blocked with a crash, so watch out for those delays. We've also got some backups on 41 southbound from Silver Spring all the way down to Burleigh. Also, southbound 43 through the Marquette interchange is going to be a little bit tight. Westbound on 94, watch for delays from 25th Street to Mitchell Boulevard. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, mostly cloudy skies, a low of 24. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy, breezy and mild, a high of 42 with a slight mix later on in the evening. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga, 94.5 ESPN.
Kevin Moret for Mentality. Most new clients of Mentality are stuck at just 1/3 the free testosterone they need, and that's a losing battle. Without enough free testosterone, nothing works. Your energy's gone, muscles weaken, and fat piles on. But it doesn't have to stay that way. Mentality's doctors bring your hormones back into balance so your body starts working again. More energy, stronger muscles, better results. This year, stop settling for a fraction of your potential. Start strong with our New Year offer at mentalityhealth.com/radio. That's mentalityhealth.com/radio.
Confidence and strength begin with how you feel. At Quintessa Aesthetic Center, it is not about just looking good. It's about results that last and empower you. With 5 convenient locations in Delafield, Mequon, Brookfield, Middleton, and Sheboygan, their team of world-class plastic surgeons, skilled clinicians, and expert estheticians are here to help you take control. Whether it's advanced skincare, anti-aging treatments, body contouring, or muscle strengthening, Quintessa has everything you need to sharpen your image and boost your confidence. Take the first step towards a stronger, more confident you. Visit myquintessa.com today.
Tune in to KBN every day at 2 o'clock. 94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee. This is Kyle, Brust, and Nortman, KBN on 94.5 ESPN. The Wisconsin On Demand app and streaming live at ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube.
It's the 414 hour at Boat on KBN. We love you, Bob Uecker.
He is our resident Wisconsin fan, Kyle Wallace. Brad Nortman, longtime NFL punter, Super Bowl 50 runner-up. And I'm Ben Brust, just picking up the pieces. Alex Stroh running the show, UKBN Nation at 800-990-3776. Keep your calls, keep your texts coming at 800-990-3776 on the Cardinals Talking text line.
Kyle Wallace is such a diva.
Unbelievable.
Hey.
He was on camera for 40 seconds, and he's like, is the camera on me? I'm dressed too nice to not be on camera.
Oh, my
gosh.
The screen didn't show. It had Bob Uecker, and I love Bob Uecker, but it was my time.
Put it on me.
Yeah, it was me. It was for me right now. We're going to put Bob back up there, but I'm dressed too nice. I've gotten way too many compliments today not to be full screen today.
You sound worse than the caller who made a joke about Bob Uecker.
No, it was time.
Wow.
If we have to transition, I'm making sure the screen transitions.
That would be like me coming into the show today saying, yeah, forget Bob Uecker. I got hit in the mouth.
Here we go. He just got
and I got 6 stitches.
Hey, it's an amazing accomplishment for him to make it this far. He's made it over 2 hours without giving the story.
And then all I had to do was let Kyle be a fool, and then I transitioned myself into making Bob Uecker's day about me.
If somebody else on the show makes it about them, Ben will easily transition back to making it about him.
You just got to open up the door.
You know what? For once in the history of the show, I think that was the right move. Talk about you.
So guys, I think I have some karma for the clip we played yesterday. I don't know if you have it, Strofe, but yesterday we played some audio from the Duke-Miami college basketball game in which they talked about the local Con Knipple, who is a potential top 10 draft pick, and he played at Wisconsin Lutheran High School. This was on the broadcast on ESPN Saturday. This will all tie together.
You know, Con Knipple played in a men's league that his dad has run for the last 20 years. Went up against a bunch of former D1 guys, D2 guys when he was just 15 years old. Ben Brust played at Wisconsin, and he was in that league. And he said he hip-checked Con Knipple early in his career to kind of test him a little bit. And he said he was surprised that Con Knipple came back and continued to fight at that age. He said that's when he knew that he had a bright future.
So the mention of the 15-year-old that I hip-checked was something we played yesterday.
Brad would say he
violated minors. That's what Ben was doing.
Why plural? He was a minor, and on the basketball court would be added context to that.
Okay, you violated a minor then.
On the basketball court.
On the basketball court. Physically. On the basketball court.
With a hip check.
With a hip check.
Bow.
That's it.
Right in the kiss.
Specifically. It's
in that
important you
very
specify.
same men's league last night after the weekly wager, Strofe and I had a great time at Potawatomi Casino Hotel after the weekly wager together.
Great time is probably strong.
We had a great time.
Well, of course,
you always have a great time.
Potawatomi.
Walked away with great food regardless. Like, great food. You know, maybe they got a little bit of money, but
my
we
wallet was a little bit thinner.
We got to, have spent some time together until I had to go to my men's league game. And we're 3 quarters in. I think it's the first play of the fourth quarter. I'm playing defense. Saved all my energy for the fourth quarter. Ball screen. I'm on help side. 6'8" guy, big, right out of college. That's a tree. The way his elbow at the normal position of trying to catch a basketball is the same height as my little 6'2" body where my head is. I deflect the ball away. I get an elbow right to the tooth that rips open my lip on the inside. And I was like, no. Just tell me my teeth are okay.
Yeah.
I show him my mouth. It's just blood everywhere. We can't see your teeth. We don't know if you have teeth or not right now. So then I was like, give me the towel, give me a paper towel, suck up all the blood to the point where can you see my teeth yet? All right. They said, got all your teeth. But they said, you got to go to the hospital. All urgent cares closed. I go to the hospital, and before I go to the hospital, I call my fiance.
What'd she say to you?
She ain't say anything.
What happened?
She was sleeping.
Oh, wow. How late was this?
This was like 9:45. So I call her like 3 times, 4 times.
She didn't answer at all?
No.
Oh, hell, we broke loose.
Dead to the world. Call the best man of my wedding, Greg Scalzo. He tells me today, yeah, I saw your call at 9:30. I got out of putting my daughter down, and it was 10:30. I didn't want to bother you.
Oh,
didn't call me back. Texted some people, didn't call me back. Found somebody on the line. But the crazy part is...
Who'd you find?
Austin Della, a great teammate of ours.
Because you didn't call us.
Hell no.
Yeah, I mean, you would have called me. I would have said, Dan, you okay?
Yeah, you wouldn't have been able to do anything about it.
I would have.
And here's the thing. My fiance wouldn't have been able to do anything about it. She wasn't going to be able to leave the house with our daughter sleeping. It actually was a blessing in disguise that she didn't pick up because I didn't get home until later, obviously, having to go to the hospital. And then next thing you know, I'm like, it's 2 o'clock. I go to bed. And like as I'm going to bed, she's like, what's all the commotion? And I was like, do I tell her? No, I don't tell her. Because then I didn't tell her.
So you didn't tell her?
No, because I wanted to go to damn bed. I was freaking tired.
So she woke up
So then 2 hours later at 4 o'clock in the morning, she wakes up and looks at her phone and she's shaking me and waking me up. I was
What in the heck?
what, are you okay? Is everything? I was like, yes, just let me sleep. And she wanted to talk to me. So this whole thing was a disaster. I got 6 stitches on the inside of my mouth. By the way, Novocaine is no joke. No. Let me say this. At the dentist, they can stick the needle in my gums as many times as they want. Hurts for a second, fine. He stuck that needle in the gashing hole of my mouth, and I haven't felt that much pain in my entire life.
A tear came down, didn't it?
No tear.
Oh, stop it. Come on now.
I may have been like, stop!
No, I ain't mad at you. That is no joke.
It was no
that's
joke.
very poignant pain right there.
In an open wound?
But this is the thing. I got an open wound. It's gash. I'm calling everybody who's close to me. Everyone's leaving me out to dry.
Dang, everybody who's
You don't consider me a friend.
I work with this man every day. He
Every
said,
day.
You could have said I called everybody I believe that was going to answer. You didn't have to say that one. You just left me, Brad.
And Dave from Aaron's right. I'm surprised he didn't pass out, Benny. That was my biggest worry, is if I couldn't handle everything and I hadn't eaten since lunch. And so
you didn't have any of that good Pato food?
I took it to go to have after basketball to put in the
that's a
air fryer.
mistake.
And now you can't eat it because it's too probably salty.
I had to undo the wrap and eat the wrap like a salad.
Oh, that's a shame.
I can't
Such
open
a
my
shame.
mouth to take a bite of a sandwich right now.
Poor guy, your lip, I can just see now your lip hanging. You got
It's hanging.
Yeah,
some
it's
little white
hanging.
thing
I don't know.
on your lip, little stitch done came
The
undone.
dissolvable stitch already came undone. I'm a mess.
no.
Yeah, you got you know how Ben has the what do they call the thing you got what is that on your head?
It's
Your
called a
forehead?
vein.
No, the hair. The hair.
Widow's peak.
Widow's peak.
Your lip got a widow's peak now.
Damn, Kyle.
Do you see it?
I see
It's a
it.
little droopy.
I've noticed it.
You only have a slight lisp.
I don't
Very
think I even
slight.
have one.
No, you got a list.
No, your
It's
vocals
grown.
are a little different than typical.
Yeah, as soon as you open your mouth, you can
Guys,
tell.
I'm down bad. I don't need the rub it in right now.
No, I'm not rubbing it in. I'm just being honest with you, right? That's what friendships are about, is being real and honest with somebody.
Wait. But are we friends or are we not?
Dude, in the workplace, from 8 till 5 o'clock, or maybe sometimes 6, you are my friend. Other than
Mad
that,
City Brew chimes in. Ben Brust is getting a tattoo after the story. And
He said, no way Ben Brust is getting a tattoo.
What do you mean, no way?
That's what he said.
I know. I read it the right way for me because I have said I'm in my half-sleeve tattoo era. I ain't need no woman. I just need myself, the hospital, a little Novocaine. Huh? I was just saying, she didn't answer. I figured it out. I'm a grown man. I'm in my half-sleeve tough guy era.
I don't need no woman.
Yeah.
He's feeling himself. He gets elbowed and he gets a little stitches, and now he thinks he's a tough guy.
Oh, trust me. They were all guys on the floor of the men's league were gathered around. They were all like, you got to get to the hospital. It's like, no, I'm good. I can keep playing.
Was there blood just all over the floor?
Did the game just stop? You ended the game, huh?
No, they kept playing.
That's good.
And then we were up at the end of the third quarter. We made a good run. Then I leave and they lose. All for nothing.
You should have told them.
Do it for Ben.
Exactly. They should have did it for Ben.
2025 is do it for Uke. Yesterday could have been do it for Ben.
It should have been do it for Ben yesterday. Poor guy, though. You doing all right, though?
I actually do believe that they need some sort of slogan. I don't know if we come up with it right now or if the Brewers media team does, but they need a do it for Uke type slogan for 2025. I'd say opening day. Are you kidding me? Home opening day is a must attend if you can get a ticket. I better see no open seat at American Family Field opening day for the home opener of the Milwaukee Brewers.
Yeah. I hope people show up. I mean, people are going to show up.
What do you mean, I hope?
Yeah, the team's going to be good.
No, it's going to be a sellout, but it's going to be an emotional time, right? Like, this season, the hard part is, I want them to say do it for you, but then, this team's never broke through, right? So it's going to be tragic at the end if the Milwaukee Brewers lose in the NLDS again. Or
Maybe they need this rallying cry. Maybe this is the thing that pushes them over the edge.
I would hope so. I mean, that would be magical. That would be beautiful. If he couldn't see it right here on Earth, he can see it from heaven. That would be great.
Well, one thing you'll see as you're driving down 94 is a sponsorship of Bank 59 right before you get to...
Oh, yeah.
He's dying.
Send him back to the ER, everyone.
You good?
Send him back to the ER.
You swallowed one of them dissolvable things?
I'm good.
The lip got to you, the widow's peak lip?
Yo, take it easy.
I'm just playing. I love this man.
Well, you're going to see my friends at Bank 59 all over that State Fair Park. They've just been named the name stage sponsor of the State Fair Amphitheater. That's right. I've been seeing name after name, banger after banger come out, and it's all thank you to the Bank 59 Amphitheater at State Fair Park. But the good that they do for the community in all southeastern Wisconsin, it doesn't stop there. Bank 59, their mission statement, listen to this, people. Make lives better. What local community bank do you know where that is their mission statement? Making lives better. That includes their customers where they offer top premier financial services across the board. Whatever you need, they got you. That also includes their volunteers. They're a top workplace year after year after year, but then also the community, the volunteerism, the donations. Bank 59 is continually active in the community, making sure they can make as many lives better as they possibly can, and they are fully focused on that mission. So if you're looking for a true local community bank that you can trust, that's loyal, that has been steeped in the Wisconsin community for over 150 years, then Bank 59 is where to go. Visit my friends at Bank 59 at bank59.com and check them out to see how they can make your life better. Member FDIC.
Longtime ESPN personality, Baseball Tonight host, Sports Center anchor. He's done it all. Sunday Night Baseball play-by-play currently.